How's it going, everyone? Kevin here with Roll On Gaming, and we've got a special video for you today. We are partnering with our friends at Deploy Your Leader Gaming to build a deck out of this box. Now, this is a box that I did purchase from Deploy Your Leader Gaming, who, if you don't know who Deploy Your Leader Gaming is, they are a website that offers singles, sealed products, accessories, and also where you can find articles about Star Wars Unlimited. You can find some articles from me on there, as well as our friends over at the Golden Dice Podcast. So if you are interested in buying some product, reading about the game, checking out the singles area when the singles area opens up, be sure to check out deployyourleader.com for that, because this is going to be a box opening video first, and then I am going to build a deck out of it, and you can find that deck and the reasons I went with it in an article coming up on deployyourleader.com. So be sure to check out that website for the final deck list. So we're going to see what we got here. Again, I purchased this from our pal Brian over at DYL. So let's see what we can get into in this box and hopefully build a pretty sweet deck out of just one box. This is a product where I think that it's going to be pretty simple to build a deck out of just a box. So if you're looking to not have a super high investment in the game, I'm going to move that just over there. If you're looking to not have a super high investment in the game, there'll probably be a scenario in which you can just buy one box, build a deck, and you'll have a lot of the cards you need, especially with the power level of some of the commons and uncommons in the set. So let's crack this open and see what we get. Thanks again to Deploy Your Leader Gaming for continuing to be a partner of the channel and for sponsoring this video. And right away, we have a nice little Hyperspace Jyn Erso here. So that's really sick. I don't know how excited I'm going to be to build a Jyn Erso deck, but obviously a cool one there as we combat a little bit of glare from my weird setup here. So we're gonna also have a chopper base at our disposal, and that's gonna be cool. So let's see what else we got. Now I'm gonna sort these as though I were sorting in a sealed environment. So all the leaders are going to go over here, all the bases are going to go over here, and then I'm going to try and make it so that I can fit everything else on one board. So let's go ahead and sort that. So we got red villains, we've got green, we've got blue villains, red neutral, green, we'll put these guys over here, we got yellow villains going to go over here. Oh, we got a Hyperspace cell block guard. That's a nice one. So already 2 cell block guards in the first pack. Feels like I'm going to want to play villain, which is not going to be too much of a stretch for me. All right, but we got a long way to go here as we get a protector. And then there's a Jabba the Hutt. So that's an interesting one. And then a foil Alliance X-Wing. So we'll put that here. We'll put Jabba the Hutt right there. Okay, so off rip, we're looking at a couple green cards, a couple yellow villain cards, and then a couple just straight villainy cards. I don't know why I'm opening this off camera. Rookie mistake, my apologies. Let's see what we got here. All right, we got another Hyperspace, it looks like, and that's a Hyperspace Director Krennic. So we're pretty excited about that. Krennic's a leader that I think would work pretty well in the limited format, especially if we keep pulling good green villain cards like that one there. There's a Vanquish for our troubles. Partisan Insurgent, Tactical Advantage. There's a Guardian of the Wills. Guerrilla Attack Pod is really hard to ignore if we decide to play Heroism. There's some Syndicate Lackeys, a TIE Fighter, Gamorrean Guards. Hey, there's a Reinforcement Walker. I already have the beginnings of a great blue-green villain deck, so we'll have to see what else pans out here. We've got a Hyperspace Smuggling Compartment, which is nice, and then a rare Sneak Attack. So that's going to be beneficial if we decide to play in yellow on either faction. And then a foil Partisan Insurgent. So already some decent red cards, depending on what it is that we're trying to do. So as we go forward, we're going to try to build this in a way where we have the best case scenario from all the cards that we have pulled. There's a Grand Moff Tarkin. So that's going to be dependent on a lot of things, like what are some of the staple commons and uncommons that we get in our box here. There's a hyperfoil back there. That's exciting. What are some of the splash cards that we can jump in with, even if they're out of aspect. I don't think Patrolling V-Wing is going to be one of them. This is already our second Vanquish, so that's intriguing. Occupier Siege Tank. I don't know how useful the neutrals will be in an environment like this. Again, we do have 24 packs, which is a lot. But if there was one that would be useful, it would be Corellian Freighter. So I'm going to put that over here just off screen. You'll just have to trust me that it's there. Outer Rim Headhunter. Again, some more yellow. We've got, I think, 2 Gamorrean Guards now. So yellow's looking pretty strong. We have our first yellow heroism card in Chewbacca. There's a Prepare for Takeoff, a Power Failure. Smoke and Cinder's probably not going to be one that we factor into our deck building. But then we do get the Hyperspace Foil Battlefield Marine. That's gorgeous. Look at that Hyperfoil. That might be that might be something we try to play just for the aesthetic of it, which is cool. Let's see what we got in our next pack. Again, I'm sorting these this way just because I'm looking to make it easier for myself to build a deck later on. I'm going to try to be mindful of all the cards we pulled in this box and try to make the best decision for a deck based on that. So we got a Consular Security Force, which is our first blue heroism card. There's a Fleet Lieutenant, so things are starting to swing a little bit back towards the heroism side, especially with something like an Echo Base Defender. Rugged Survivors is going to go here. There's an Ozatuk. Underworld Thugs probably not going to make the cut, but a Crafty Smuggler might. That's really nice. Lieutenant Childson, if we decide to go heavy into blue villain. Could work. There's a Wing Leader. No Good to Me Dead is always a good card. And then there's a Wolf and a Starwing Scout. So a couple of good aggro cards there to end us out. So already we're seeing a nice amount of balance here. And it'll be very interesting to see how the rest of the box plays out if we get any sort of high-level cards that can really turn the tide in our favor. I don't know that anything right now is as high-level as this Reinforcement Walker, but the Battlefield Marine and Echo Base Defender are very good in terms of low-cost staples that I would not be opposed to including. And just as I say that, here's another Echo Base Defender, which is nice. There's a Guardian of the Wills. There's another Partisan Insurgent and a Fleet Lieutenant. I do wonder if by default this is going to end up being a aggro heroism deck just based on the sole fact that archetype is one of the stronger budget archetypes right now. There's a Waylay, which is nice. Another Ozatuk. Power of the Dark Side never hurt anyone, so we're pretty excited about that. We'll go ahead and put that there. There's a Dodonna. Oh, here we go. That's a Hyperspace Rare, which is really nice. Lando Calrissian. I don't know how effective that's going to be in a sealed environment, but a 6/5 Saboteur feels pretty good. Then there's a Bombing Run. Okay, that's our rare. That can help us out if we end up not having a ton of balance in our unit structure. And then a foil Guerrilla Attack Pod. I just realized I put Wolf up there. He feels like he should be a hero, but he's not. But the Guerrilla Attack Pod does go up there. And now we have a couple of those to work with. So looking pretty good on green-red heroism right now. Looking pretty good on blue-green villainy right now. And then can't count out yellow at this point. Red villainy is looking a little lackluster at the moment, but you never know what we're going to be able to find. Precision Fire, there's a resupply that helps. That actually goes up here. Doing great, Kevin. Really nice job. Disabling Fang Fighter. Okay, Strike True, that's a classic. 2-1B. There's an ATST and a 7th Fleet Defender. Very nice. Frontier ATRT. There's a Rogue Squadron Skirmisher, a Ruthless Raider. Just as I was lamenting the amount of red villainy cards, we get one right off the top. There's an Entrenched, and then we're going to get a base at our disposal. We're going to have the Security Complex base. So we could potentially use that if we were so inclined. I might be more inclined if it was an energy conversion lab, but then we got a foil Cloud City Wing Guard for some added Sentinels. So no legendaries at this point. I'm sure we'll get our fair share, but it'll be interesting to see if they complement what it is we're trying to do. There's another Krennic, okay, with a command center base. I'm not too worried about getting the requisite color base I would need. There's an Imperial Interceptor, which is nice. Resupply. We continue to get some resupplies, which are great. Crafty Smuggler. Might be time to start paying attention to Cunning. Just as I say that, we get a Hyperspace Academy training, which looks really cool. There's a Bib. There's a Mon. There's an Ozzel. and there's a General Krell. I've seen a lot of General Krell over the course of my box opening experiences. Needless to say, that's not one I'm super stoked to put in, but you never know. And then a foil Rebel Assault, which is nice, which could go really nicely into the aforementioned aggro deck. So already we're starting to try to find some patterns here. We're trying to find the most of the box that we are given. There's a Grand Admiral Thrawn. Always love a Grand Admiral Thrawn. That you can never go wrong with him unless you're no fun. So there's another Interceptor. Here's a Medal Ceremony. Okay. Getting a couple added green cards, getting a couple added blue cards. Open Fire helps. Jawa Scavenger. Mining Guild TIE Fighter. We got a Hyperspace Alliance X-Wing. So now we have a foil Alliance X-Wing and a Hyperspace one. Don't know if that's going to sway me one way or another. There's a Bosk. Hardpoint Heavy. Rallying Cry. And then another home one. Boy, we love home ones on this channel. All right. Oh, but a foil Count Dooku is really nice. Okay, that's cool. So we sleeve up legendaries when we pull them, regardless of if they're home one or not. I'm going to go ahead and sleeve mine up in this nice Deployer Leader Gaming sleeve, which I put upside down because I'm doing great at my job. So we'll go ahead and put that in there and set that off to the side so that we can keep track of it. But we got a home one, which again further pushes us a little bit in the direction of command heroism. We'll see if that continues to pan out. In the meantime, there's a Chirrut. I do enjoy Chirrut. So there's a world in which we could play him. Let's keep going here. I'm going to speed things up just a little bit just to see what other cool cards we can get. There's a Ghost. If we decided to add some Spectres to our deck, that could be intriguing. It seems like now we've gotten one of every color of double aspect card. We've gotten a Protector, a General Krell, a Rallying Cry, and now a Cantina Bouncer, which is exciting. Blizzard Assault Adept could help us. There's a Chimera and then a Bounty Hunter Crew, so back-to-back Cunning Villainy cards. I think the Bounty Hunter Crew would be a little more useful than the Chimera, but you never know, especially if we decide to go with Thrawn, which, as I mentioned, you can never go wrong with doing. Okay, here's a Grand Moff Tarkin. There's a Recruit. Green Squadron A-Wings always help. Mercenary Company. Restored Arc will be nice for some blue heroism if we decide to do that. Surprise Strike, great card. We're starting to get a little bit more in the way of cunning cards where we weren't before. Oh, but there's a second Ghost. Back-to-back packs with a Ghost in them, so that's intriguing. Potentially something to keep in mind. Smuggling Compartment. There's a Hyperspace Rallying Cry. Again, I don't know how much I'm going to be using this card, but that looks really sweet. Love to see that. Seventh Sister. Just as we're starting to write off Red Villainy, in comes a Seventh Sister, and then a foil Tactical Advantage. Still got a decent amount of packs left, so we'll see if we can get anything that continues to push our strategy one way or another. In the meantime, there's a Leia. That helps. Strike True is always good. I imagine we might end up with a playset of a lot of these commons just in one box, which again helps us out. There's another A-Wing. There's another Wilderness Fighter. There's another Jawa. Shout out to the garbage rollers on that one. Disarm, I think that's the first one in this box. We have a Hyperspace Restored Arc 170. Cool one there. Fighters for Freedom. There's a Devotion. Okay. My piles are getting a little messy here, so I'm going to have to straighten that up a little bit. There's a Bamboozle and a Binds All Things. And look at that. We have a foil legendary here in Black 1. Very nice. We're going to go ahead and sleeve that up because we sleeve all legendaries here at Roll On Gaming. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, not one that is going to be super helpful with a quote-unquote meta game plan, similar to Home 1, but our two legendaries to this point have continued to feed into the green-red heroism mantra. So it'll be interesting to see if that's where we end up going, just to get at least one of those in. It may not necessarily be like the aggro variant. We could potentially go with a different leader that helps us get there. But in the meantime, we're going to open up a Boba Fett. Can never go wrong with a Boba Fett. That could be a contender for sure. There's another Battlefield Marine, which helps. Pathfinder. Make an Opening is a good card. Consortium Star Viper, also a good card. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know if it should be Consortium or Consortium. Either way, it's a Star Viper, and it's cool. Outer Rim Headhunter. There's another Bounty Hunter crew. Piet, if we decide to go big. Force Throw. There's a Kanan, so there's a Spectre to add to our Ghost, which is cool. There's a Rook, okay. And then General Tag. Okay, so a couple solid Command Villainy cards there to end that pack. As we open up a fresh one and get another Chewbacca. I think it's pretty safe to say at this point I won't be running... Oh, I don't know what that is, but it looks vaguely like an Emperor Palpatine. We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. In the meantime, there's an open fire. There's another Restored Arc. If that's a hyper foil Emperor Palpatine, we're going to be pretty excited about it. As we keep getting Battlefield Marines, which attempt to dissuade us from running a villainy deck. There's another Force Throw. Oh, a Hyperspace Ghost. So we have pulled 3 ghosts in this box. One of them being Hyperspace. Very nice. There's a Wedge, which would go great with Home 1 and all these green heroism cards. And you guessed it, that is a Hyperfoil Emperor Palpatine, and that looks awesome. Love the lightning on that. We're going to go ahead and sleeve that one. You know what? We'll keep it here. We'll keep it here. Just got to make sure it stays with all the rest of the stuff. But that's a really neat one, and we might have to find a place for that. Okay. There's a Hyperspace Boba Fett. So now 2 Boba Fetts to continue to try to keep us on the villainy side. Super Laser Technician will also help with that. When I was in my pre-release, as we launch into story time, I spent one pre-release opening 3, count them 3, Super Laser Technicians in 6 packs. This is a Hyperspace Patrolling V-Wing. And so when I did that, I realized, you know, Kevin, I said to myself, it's time to play Darth Vader. As we get a Zeb and another Spectre, which is nice. There's a Bodhi and a foil TIE Fighter. Love the art on the TIE Fighter. So that's what I did. So I built a Vader deck that had 3 Super Laser Technicians and either 3 or 4 Wampas, which was kind of crazy. And there's a nice, as we continue with the Spectre theme, there's a nice Hyperspace Hera. Very, very nice. And needless to say, with those cards at my disposal in a Vader deck, that went pretty well for me. So I had some fun in my last pre-release of the weekend. Vader's pretty good in Limited. He's also pretty good in Unlimited. But yeah, solid card as I sort my piles a little bit more neatly. Bounty Hunter crew, we're getting a lot of those. There's an AT-AT Suppressor. That could be a bomb. Shoot First. Another Bright Hope. I think this is the first Bright Hope of the box, but another green heroism card that could end up being really useful. And we get a Super Laser Blast. So there's a legendary that sides us towards the green, towards the villainy side of things. If you're going to be able to afford a Super Laser Blast, you might want to be in green and blue villainy. But that's going to be our 3rd legendary of the box. We'll see if we get any more. Obviously, one of those was a variant, so we might be in line for one more, and we might just get 3. If we only get 3, then I'll have a chat with Brian about that, and we'll see. We'll see what we do. No, obviously, I'm kidding. There's a Vanguard Infantry. There's a Keep Fighting. Dispatcher. Would be good if we had Luke Skywalker. Spec Force Soldier helps. Oh, wait. We always love a good Steadfast Battalion. Steadfast Battalion, very cool as a unit. One I was definitely sleeping on when it was first revealed. And there's the favorite card of the channel, the Snow Trooper Lieutenant. We love to see it. Snapshot. Power of the Dark Side, always good. I think this is the second one of the box, if I'm not mistaken. But I probably am because I've been talking like a fool throughout this whole thing. Galactic Ambition is nice. Oh, and then a Hyperfoil Corellian Freighter. We need to throw that in as a one of, just because that's a really cool one, and that's a Hyperfoil I don't have yet. The Galactic Ambition, probably not one that we include. So that's unfortunate, and sort of a knock on the villainy argument for being in this deck here. There's a Sabine. All right, so we've gotten a Leia and we've gotten a Sabine. We've gotten Hera. I don't recall seeing a Cassian. So we'll just keep going here. Speed through some of these. There's another Super Laser Technician, which never hurts. Having a ton of those isn't going to make us sad at all. There's a Hyperspace Asteroid Sanctuary that looks really nice. Force Choke is nice. TIE Advanced is nice. Distant Patroller less nice. And then, oh, a Fett's Fire Spray. Big swing towards Boba Fett for trying to make it so that his voice is heard here in the deck building process. We also got the foil Benthic 2/2s. Yeah, really hard to deny the power of a Fett's Fire Spray. As we open another Leia. Vigilant Honor Guards really put in some work over the weekend. As I saw people playing this, I was very impressed with what it was doing. Agitator. There's a Gladiator Star Destroyer as we continue to try to make a comeback here for villains. Yellow has sort of tailed off a little bit with the exception of the Fett's Fire Spray. So I'll be interested to see where we land on that when all is said and done. There's a second Rebel Assault. Oh, Fifth Brother is a nice one. Fifth Brother could be a good case for red villainy. Can never have too many takedowns. I think this is the first one of the box, so we'll make sure to get that in. And there's a Gideon Hask right on the back of it, which is really cool. So Gideon, I found, has been a really cool unit to play. Only having one might hurt its case a little bit here, but as we open another Boba Fett, you just never know. You just never know. Another Steadfast Battalion always helps. Fighting. Escort Skiff could give us some much needed ambush if we're in green. There's a second Vigilant Honor Guards and a Jedha Agitator. Those were back to back in the last pack too. Snow Trooper Lieutenant. Couple of Lothal Insurgents here. Cogtail Spacer's nice. 97th Legion, not so much, but you never know. There's a Forced Surrender. This card wrecked me in night one of the pre-releases, so shout out to my opponent Eric for playing that. There's a red 3. All right, so red hero, red 3, a foil Underworld Thug. All right, how many packs do we have left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we're going to save the Thrawn pack for last because that's what we do here. We'll open the Leias, the Chewies, and then the Thrawn. So let's go ahead and start with this Leia pack and see what we get. Oh, there's a Han Solo. That could be interesting. Okay. Certainly more enticing than a Jyn if we wanted to go into yellow heroism. That is the either third or fourth Guerrilla Attack Pod. There's another Vanquish. Okay. There's another Echo-based Defenders. Super Racer, TIE Fighter, Protector. There's an Ezra, so another Spectre. So we've seen Zeb. I think we might have seen Sabine, but maybe not. It all runs together at this point. We've definitely seen a Kanan. We've seen 3 Ghosts. So it could be a case for Hera Syndulla there. There's an Attack Pattern Delta. Emperor's Legion, probably not one we're going to play. But then the foil Spec Force Soldier might be. 4 packs left. 4 packs left. At this point, we are at 3 legendaries, one of which being a foil. There's a Cassian. So I think now we've pulled every red and green heroism leader. I think we pulled every yellow heroism leader and every blue heroism leader, with the exception of Luke. So that's good. We have the full realm to go through. You know, we may not have pulled the Chirrut. I don't actually remember. Again, these boxes are starting to run together a bit, which is a good problem to have, but also I want to make sure that this box stays together. There's a Forces with Me. That could be really nice. Really like that card, actually. Pirated Starfighter. Pirated Starfighter is actually one that I have gotten much more high on lately. Oh, look, an Overwhelming Barrage. That might be our first one of these, actually, which is sad if that's true. There's an Admiral Akbar and an Outer Rim Headhunter foil. Okay. So things starting to tilt back towards the heroism side, at least if you ask me, without doing a full analysis as we get a Jyn Erso. Guardian of the Wills, Partisan Insurgent. We've gotten our share of Fleet Lieutenants, which are going to help. There's a Hyperspace Mining Guild TIE Fighter. Very nice. Inferno 4 is always a good one. Again, with the General Krell. Oh, this one's a Hyperspace General Krell, though. That's nice. I don't think I have a Hyperspace General Krell. That definitely makes it better. There's an Electro Staff and a foil K2SO. Wow. That K2SO might have just been the dagger for red heroism. But still 2 packs to go. Anything can happen. We're going to take a look here at another Jyn Erso. Got a Hyperspace base. Okay, we'll fly through some of these here. I don't see a ton of them making the cut. Waylay Might. There's a Hyperspace Keep Fighting, which is nice. Karabast is a good one. There's a Baze. First Baze of the box, I believe. Vanguard Ace. Again, that's probably one that doesn't make the cut. Agent Callus is nice, especially because I can play it on either side, which is cool. And then it looks like a Hyperfoil of Outer Rim Headhunter. That's cool. I haven't seen that before. Really nice. All right. Down to our last pack. If I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking we're going heroism with red and then either green or yellow. But let's see what this last pack has to say about that. And then once I have a chance to look over everything in depth, I'm going to write about it. And you can go find that on deployyourleader.com. Make sure to go check that out. There's another escort skiff. Brian, who runs the site, is really good people, and he has definitely taken care of us, and he will take care of you. So be sure to check out the following article on deployyourleader.com. That's a nice little hyperspace repair. To see what we end up building as we swing in with one final overwhelming barrage to try to even the odds here. But right after that is a Sabine, Regional Governor, and a foil overwhelming barrage. Well, now, that makes things interesting. Kind of hard to ignore multiple overwhelming barrages in the same box. So, we have our pick pretty much of leaders based on all the ones we pulled to this point. There were a few we did not pull. We did not see a Emperor Palpatine, which is fine. But it does appear that we have almost everything else at our disposal. No Grand Inquisitor as well. So remains to be seen what we're going to build. So stay tuned for that article that's going to come out on Deploy Your Leader Gaming, which is deployyourleader.com. Thank you to Deploy Your Leader for being a proud partner of Roll On Gaming and for sponsoring this video. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.